2 weeks before this guy gets traded.
5 minutes later.
I buy this shirt.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Sorry about that. Today I'm with my good buddy Taylor Hall, back in the west end of Toronto, grabbing a couple pies and catching up at one of my go-to spots in the city, Pizzeria Badiali.
Hey,
oh, there he is, buddy. How you doing?
Good, yeah?
Thanks for having me.
This
is Ryan, owner and chef, who opened Badiali during the pandemic. Fresh ingredients, weekly specials. This ain't your local chain pizzeria.
We got some vintage Toronto legends up on the walls now. So yeah, we just kind of wanted to make a slice shop that was a little bit indicative of the city and the legends that there are. So
I love this one from Teo too.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not bad. Yeah.
And I think it's fitting too. First time I walked in here, you had the Oilers.
There you go. There you go. You don't see that too often. Eh?
Were you a hockey guy growing up?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, small town just outside of London, Ontario. But I was a Detroit fan because you either picked Toronto or you picked Detroit being in the middle. So I grew up a Detroit fan. But I've transitioned into a Leaf fan being here for about 13 years now. So.
The Red Wings octopus toss is a playoff staple, and Ryan has had an interesting contribution to the timeless tradition.
I was working at a Spanish restaurant up on College Street, and I took an octopus down. I vacuum sealed it, tucked it under my belt. Third period went down and underhand it, and it smacked the glass, and then landed in some poor guy's lap, and it got caught on.
And did it go viral?
Yeah, back then it was pretty viral.
Yeah.
For Toronto, I just felt that there was something, that could be a more special slice. There's the legends and the pitondos and fresca that I always love. In terms of doing a very high quality slice, there wasn't that much options in the city. One of the things with us being so busy these days, I think a lot of it just has to do with a good product, like using good ingredients and making a dough that takes 3 days to make and just putting in the time and not skimping on that process. People will come and eat that. But also, TikTok helps. TikTok's been pretty crazy.
TikTok?
Yeah, all over TikTok.
Do you have any Leafs that come by regularly?
I don't think we've had any yet, but hopefully pretty soon we'll get some drop by. Yeah, that'd be great.
No Leafs today, but we got a Boston Bruin coming in, so
Amazing,
hopefully
man.
that'll be all right.
Love it.
We'll have a great meal here.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Come on, bro. What's up? Good to see you, dude. Good. Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah,
you're gonna enjoy this. You look good. Nice fit. You're always clean, eh? Nice shoes. Fellas, I want to introduce you.
Hey, how's it
Taylor
going?
Hall.
On Taylor.
Right.
I'm looking forward to some za.
First up, the burrata pie, a classic marinara where
It's all about the undercarriage.
the perfect crunch, and finished with shaved garlic, basil, olive oil, and dollops of burrata cheese.
All right, guys, got the first one here.
Looks unreal.
This undercarriage. Oh my gosh. Yes.
That's solid now. That crust is, just
elite,
a
right?
simple but really good sauce.
While we were enjoying our first slices, Ryan was prepping the vodka sauce pie. Homemade rosé, fresh fior di latte, grated pecorino, and their pepperoncini dip.
All right, guys, we got the other one here.
Oh, buddy.
Dude, look at that.
Yeah, it's pretty good, right?
Before we dug in, I had to ask about Dave Portnoy's visit.
He started following us on Instagram, and I was like, uh-oh, he's coming. But there was no announcement of when. He called it in under Mike, I think, actually. So we were like, okay, it's gotta be him. Nobody's calling in for a cheese right when we open, kind of thing.
And it was a pretty good score. No, 8.
Yeah, we got 8-3.
Yeah,
it's
solid.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. So we were happy about that. Well, enjoy, guys.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, man.
I might have to let this cool down, do the press.
He always talks about how his mouth's burnt.
Yeah,
3
it's
layers
like
of skin.
steaming hot. He's like, oh, burn my mouth again.
Oh man, that's unreal.
I mean, that's something else, right? That's my favorite pie in the city, honestly.
You know me, I love the rosé and the vodka sauces.
You are a big
and
rosé
pasta.
guy. We were talking about pizza and eating pizza on the bus in Windsor. Back-to-back mems, back-to-back MVPs. Is that good? Man, you guys were stacked. And I was looking back on the roster. It was Rico, Henrique, Ellis, Grubauer. I know I'm missing a couple for sure, but what was that like, just being on a winning team and having that much success at that such a young age?
It's a huge reason why I'm still playing today, and I also think just Like we had amazing players to add to that list, like Zach Cassian. We traded away Richard Panik, a guy who played like 300-400 NHL games.
Oh, I forgot about Panic.
You know, we had guys like the next year after we won that second Mem Cup, there was like 10 guys that played games in the NHL that next year. It's crazy. We always joked we had like 12 guys signed to contracts. So like we'd go out and stuff, and there was always money flowing around. You know, when a guy signs a contract in junior, he's like, I got the drink. So it was great. I think it also, like, I'm an only child, so it brought me into that team environment, and like those guys, they were great to me. They were hard on me. Like, they didn't let me get away with a lot of shit. I think that was really good for me. So yeah, Windsor's a huge soft spot for me in my whole story.
Along with the expectations of going first overall, getting drafted to a town like Edmonton has its own unique pressure.
I felt I handled myself on the ice, you know, pretty well my first few years there. Not a lot of team success, obviously. You know, you were there for 3 of the years. Yeah. So, and you know,
we had a good time.
Yeah, we had a good time. We had some fun, right? Like, there's no trouble, but we had a good time. We enjoyed ourselves, and I still look back on my time in Edmonton. I have positive thoughts about it. I honestly think, like, for me as a person in my life, I think it was one of the better things that happened. I got to play in the U.S. and I got to experience a totally different landscape in New Jersey. That was another thing that helped me grow, and it's always fun going back to play in Edmonton. I don't try and hide when I'm there, you know. I enjoy playing there, and it was just a part of my life that it didn't go as planned, but I have no regrets, you know.
So Edmonton, I wasn't on the team, so I don't remember, but what was going through your mind when Yakupov scored that goal and like breaststroke through everybody and then went on his knees and did like the huge celly? Like, were you on the ice for that? What was going through your mind?
I think I got the primary apple on the goal because I spun around, shot it. He batted it out of the air, right? I think.
I don't even remember.
I think he batted it out of the air and then, like took off through us. Eric Belanger, great guy, really funny older guy. And he was on the ice because he took the face-off, and we won the face-off. We ended up scoring. I don't even know if we all skated down to go see Yak, but a couple of us did. And Belly, he didn't go to see Yak. He went right to the bench, and he told them in his like thick French accent, "Don't ever make me skate down there like that again, or don't ever do that again." Like right after the goal was scored. It was really funny.
It was outrageous.
It was, yeah. He wasn't a bad kid either. Like he really loved hockey, and he would get so excited to score goals. Like he just loved to score. But it was a lot at the time.
Yeah, I know.
I always loved Hallsy stories from his first and last time in the American League during the lockout. Because
I did that for
I know.
like 350 games, man.
Dude, I know.
Like it's an experience, eh?
Yeah, it is. It's different, like, you know, you play NHL games and like I achieved my dream and I, you know, deserve to be in the NHL, and then you kind of, there's a lockout and you're like, okay, I got to go play in the AHL. It was just different, right? Like you're riding buses all the time. Like I was one of the youngest, if not the youngest player on the team.
You guys were stacked though. It was like you and Ebby, Nuge, Schultz.
Justin Schultz. The hockey was fun. It was really fun. It was a little like sloppy compared to, you know, obviously the NHL, but it was still really fun. I wanted to be in the NHL. Like I wanted to play against the best. I wanted to push myself against the best. And it was my third year pro where I was really looking to take a step, you know, as an NHLer, and I had to play in the A. But
can I tell the Money in the Cup story?
Yeah, the Money in the Cup, man.
When you're in the American League, you have to look at this menu before the game and you choose whatever you want. Oh, I want a pizza, I want spaghetti and meatballs, and you write it on the list. It's $17.95, you leave a tip. There's a little cup in the middle of the room and you put your money in. You thought that was the most bizarre thing ever, but what I always thought was funny was we were short every time.
You're always short money.
We were always short. We're like, okay, who didn't pay?
Someone always didn't pay. I thought that was like, oh, I played in Wilkes-Barre or I played for this team and that's what they did. And it was really shitty that they made us put money in the cup. I didn't realize it was like a universal thing in the AHL.
Every team.
And the food was awful. The sleeper buses were like that like gross leather.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if they sanitized it.
Probably not. It's an experience, right?
It was an experience, yep. It was a lot of fun to play like with Ebbs and to live in Oklahoma City. It's kind of cool for me to say that I lived there, but
yeah, I got to play there as well.
Yeah.
Man, we got to talk about Ebby too. Like, this is one of the funniest humans I know.
Yeah.
He's very, I don't know, he's kind of sarcastic. You have to take some of the stuff he says with a grain of salt.
He's humble, but he's not.
He's humble about being humble.
Yeah.
About being from Saskatchewan. He always likes to tell you he's from Regina. Every time World Juniors comes around, it's Ebby all the time.
Yeah, he loves it. Yeah,
he's a World Junior legend.
Yeah, at the bachelor party, he probably mentioned like 8 times how he was an all-star this year. How he played in the all-star game.
Do you remember the book of weeks? You got to tell me this, because I don't even remember it that well.
Yeah, I think like we were on the plane or something, and he had a book in his little travel bag, and I think Sam Gagner was like, "Oh, what are you reading?" And Ebbs goes, "Yeah, like I read a book a week." And everyone kind of stopped around him and goes, "No, you don't. There's just no way."
Because if you know Ebby, there's no way.
But if you know Ebby, like he kind of adds a little little something to every story to make it better, and like exaggerates to the point where like you have to call him out sometimes, because you're like, you're not reading a book a fucking week, man. Like, come on.
As we continued down the path of his career, we arrived at the infamous trade.
You get traded to Jersey. What was like the first reaction there? Because remember, the Stamkos thing happened, your trade happened, and Subban Weber, yeah. And I just remember seeing you get traded and just being like, holy, like 1 for 1. I don't know. What was your reaction?
Yeah, like so like the previous couple days, it was the NHL draft. There was rumblings that I might get traded, but I was like, I don't think I'm gonna get traded. To be honest, I thought I was like too good of a player for them to want to trade me. And once the draft happened and like it was done with, I was like, okay, like I'm not getting traded. Then I started hearing a couple more rumors like the next day or two after that, and my agent calls me. He's like, hey, there's some word out of like New Jersey, just letting you know what I'm hearing. And I go, oh shit. So I go work out that morning, and like at the end of my workout, I text my agent and I'm like, do you think it's still bullshit about New Jersey? And there was like a 5-second pause, and he's like, you've been traded, the deal's done to New Jersey. You got traded for Adam Larson. And I was like, oh my God. So leave the gym, go home, kind of like I get a call from Peter Chiarelli, and that's a brief conversation. And kind of like, all right, what do I do now? I talked to Ray Shiro, and Ray's great. He was a really good person, and he called me, and he's very gregarious. He's a funny guy, so he was making a couple jokes. And
good vocab, eh? Gregarious, love that.
Yeah, that was a Wednesday. I got traded, and if you remember at a golf course, Wednesday is usually men's day. So you go play your 9 holes on your team, and you have dinner after, a beer or something. So I went to try and play men's day. I shanked my first one onto the road, my second one onto the road, and I just say, I'm gone. See you later. I left the course. I didn't even finish the first hole, and because just my head wasn't there. I called a couple buddies. We went to this bar, Red House, in downtown Kingston, and had a few drinks, and I don't know, we're just kind of like, damn, we got traded. So
when 1201 hit on free agency, I got a call from New Jersey GM Ray Shiro offering me a contract with the Devils, and I jumped at the offer.
That was great to have you there to start. I know you got injured during training camp there, which kind of sucked, but it allowed you to kind of hang around the team, and you stayed at my place for a bit. It was good to have a familiar face, because that was like Edmonton and New Jersey are the two most different cities from each other. It was
like a different league, man.
In the NHL. Not to, chirp New Jersey fans, but the passion in the arena on like a Tuesday night in Edmonton's always there. And it might not be the same in New Jersey. And just like the landscape of what the cities are like and living.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you about difference like Canadian and American markets. You obviously, those two are polar opposites as well, right? Like you could go anywhere in Hoboken and maybe get recognized one time. Edmonton, you can't go get a coffee without it, right?
In Edmonton, you go out in public, you kind of have like a guard up, like, you're waiting for someone to recognize you. In New Jersey, you're not like looking for it, but you're like, oh man, I can just go enjoy myself, and like no one's gonna know who the heck I am. So it was fun.
After a couple more stops along the way, Taylor's found a home in Boston, both with the city and the team.
It's been a really good place for me after the couple years I had through COVID, and I got traded to Arizona, and then Buffalo didn't work out.
Oh, actually, where is it? Give me my prop. 2 weeks before this guy gets traded.
5 minutes later.
I buy this shirt.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Sorry about that. Short-lived, but you end up in Boston, and Like, I know you said it, like, it's unreal, good city.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about one player, man, Bergie, the legend. Tell me about this guy. Like,
He's almost like perfect, you know. He does everything the right way, you know, the way he conducts his relationships with everyone, the way he plays on the ice, you know, his two-way game. It's just like everything he conducts himself the way that, you know, a lot of guys want to look up to. So he's also one of those guys, though, like, you're not like, you know, starstruck by him. He's very like inviting. Like, I actually brought a couple friends to Boston this year. It was Lonzy and Mully, and Eric Lalonde, he grew up like a massive Bruins fan. Like, when they won the cup in 2011, he was crying. Like, and he's French Canadian. His idol's Bergie, and I got Bergie to meet him, sign his jersey, and Eric was like totally at ease because Bergie's just like that, and it was a really cool like thing for him to experience.
well, buddy, it's always a pleasure catching up, and this
Yeah,
is
it
some
is, man.
unreal pie. Hopefully you come back to the,
Oh yeah, I'm having
to
some
the
of this
spot.
for sure.
You'll,
Again.
good luck in Boston this year. I'll try to come down and see you, but man, it's always a pleasure. So
Yeah,
thanks for doing this, buddy.
it's been
I
a lot of
appreciate
fun,
it.
bro.
Yeah.
Love it.
Unreal.
Pizza is easy to do, but hard to do well. Badiali has taken this concept and turned a small corner cafe into one of the most memorable culinary experiences in the city. From the day I arrived in Edmonton, Taylor's been a great friend to me. He's had my back off the ice while I try to take care of his on it. We got to sit down and reminisce about all those times together over some unreal pizza. I mean, what could be better than that? Cheers, Gaz.